Sa 30.
Oh, your student also come here, right?
I still maybe they are on the way.
Oh.
Yes.
This is no file.
Oh, Brother Nofel, please check it.
Hello.
Hello, welcome, Professor Masood.
Assalamualaikum. Brother, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
I am fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much also for your time.
Zahid bhai, Assalamualaikum. Zahid bhai, how are you?
Yeah, walaikum salam warahmatullah. I'm good, brother. Alhamdulillah. Actually, I am also in a meeting, so I could not continue. Just I want to welcome you so that I am in the online.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining the program, and inshallah you will enjoy the program, and also student will learn something from your knowledge, inshallah. Thank you so much for joining, brother.
Thank you very much, brother.
Yeah, brother Asgar. Okay, brother, continue with the student, inshallah. It will be
Okay.
very nice to have this today's discussion, inshallah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for you.
Yeah, welcome.
Well, we just had members joining until now. Okay, we're waiting 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah? After that, we're starting. Yeah.
So we will start now.
Okay. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good evening for all participants. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, who is going to talk about business and Islamic Sharia governance. This is a subject in which we should all be deeply interested because it's by eviting financial mistakes that we can best ensure financial Islamic futures. Our speakers today, Prof. Abdul Qayyum Masood, is currently working at the Department of Business Administration, Noor Khalfi Science and Technology, Universitas, Bangladesh. He has completed his PhD in the program in Sustainability Management at Inha University, South Korea, in the area of Sustainability Management. And so Prof. Masood has completed his undergraduate and graduate degree in Accounting and Information System. Prof. Masood has been working on corporate sustainability accounting issues, including corporate and social responsibility, strategy and reporting, carbon pricing and disclosure, corporate water reporting, and also the corporate governance. So thank you very much, Prof. Masood, and time is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I have to share the screen.
Yeah.
But I think you need to give the permission for screen sharing, because it's the host is it said that will disable the participant screen sharing.
Okay.
So you have to give me the permission,
Okay, thank you.
or you can share from yourself.
I already share. I share.
Yeah, you can share, or you can give me the permission.
Okay, you can. Please, the admin of Zoom, give him permission, because I am also in the same position. Okay.
I think they're working. Yeah, they have given me the permission. Thank you very much. So now you are, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, participant and the University Yogyakarta, Mahmudi Yogyakarta in Indonesia, and all the participants. Thank you very much. This is Mr. Masood. The moderator already speak about me. I'm honored to join the program from Bangladesh. The coming 1 hour I will be with you, and I will try to give some lectures about the business and Sharia governance and what is happening in the world about the business and business responsibility. As I know, this is the course of business, introduction to business, and the course is mainly from undergraduate students. So I will just basically I will speak about what is business, and I will include something related with business responsibility, because whenever we will discuss about the governance, or whenever we like to think about the Sharia principle, that we have to know about the ethics, we have to know about the responsibility of the businessman. So I just like to start from this, and after the conclusion of my presentation, we will discuss with the issue with the participants. So feel free to ask me any questions. You can write now. If you have anything, you can write now, and whenever we close our program, then we have a session. We will discuss all the issues with you, and we will exchange our views and exchange our opinions.
Okay. Hello, Professor. Professor.
Udah masuk cuy.
Professor. Already here, or I think he's a problem in the internet connection, or what? Okay, writing later.
Kok aku malah.
Okay, writing Professor. Yeah, yeah, problem in the connection.
Itu enggak.
to join again. Alhamdulillah.
I'm in problem with I am in problem with electricity.
Oh yeah.
That's why there is a problem. But now
Your sound is not clear, bro.
I am in on my slide. Now you're listening?
Yeah. Now okay. Now starting okay.
Okay. So now I can share from here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So give me the
Please, admin, please
uh
permission again to share the slide. Can share.
okay. I'm sorry for that. There is interruption from the electricity.
It's okay, bro. No problem. Take your time.
So now you're listening. Yes.
Yeah.
So now you're listening me,
I listening. Yeah, that is not clear. And
brother Asgar. You are now listening me.
yes, yes, I can.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am now listening all of you. So do you listen me?
Yes, yes. Okay, how if I am sharing the PowerPoint?
So brother Asgar, you are now listening me.
Yes, I can. How if I am sharing the PowerPoint?
So do you listen me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Group Masood. How if I am sharing the slide from me and you? How about this? Group Masood?
Pantas dapat mana? Cupnya 3 jari. Ayo, ayo. Nge-zoom.
Group Masood?
Yuk. Gimana?
So actually, I'm in trouble.
Okay, how if I am I sharing the PowerPoint? Or
Okay, now I shared it. Okay.
okay.
So I am sorry again for the audience. There is a technical problem. Then now I can start.
Okay.
So we know about the business and business policy and business model. That is already said. The interaction of goods and services between person to person organization. So there are different types of business. It's like profit organization, non-profit organizations. So you know that. So our this is actually the forces who are using the business for doing business in like earning money. Whenever we are doing business, we have to consider many economic activities. We have to consider about the profit capability, risks, uncertainty. So all those elements are involved in the business. So whenever we are doing business, we have to think about the business environment. And then we know in a days the electronic business is very popular all over the world. That is, we say it's the online business. So there are two types of business: offline business and online business. Offline business, that is usually we know we are habituated with all offline business. But online business is usually when we are paying or we are collecting or we're buying and purchasing the goods and services from online by electronic media. That is usually we like to say online business. But day by day in whole over the world, the online business is now more familiar and very popular. So whenever we are think about the business, then we know about the offline to online business. That is also very common because this is a duality of the business. Many business organizations now they are doing business and they're sharing their business activities by online platform. They have also both online payment, online receipt, as well as physical. So offline to online business is really the strategy. That is a business strategy that draws potential customers from offline mediums to make purchase in online stores. It involves techniques that used in online marketing. So I'm sure that also in Indonesia, most of the business organization have both like offline and online. Then whenever we are dealing about the business, suppose what types of business, it doesn't matter whether it is online, it is offline, it is physical, it is technological, it doesn't matter. But we have to think in business, that is business ethics and only ethics. So there are two issues. One is ethics, another one is online ethics. Sorry, business ethics. So what is ethics? We have to know about this. What is ethics? Then we may think about the business ethics. So whenever we are thinking about the ethics, then we have to think about the integrity, principles, morality, honesty, right or wrong. So really, what is the definition of ethics? So the basic definition of ethics, we like to say ethics means usually the what is right or wrong. Not to be social norms and customs. So whenever we are doing something, we have to think whether this is right or wrong. We should do it or not should do it. This is usually called about the ethics. So then what is business ethics? So whenever businessmen doing business, they have to follow the rules, they have to follow the regulation, they have to follow the social norms, social customs, they have to follow the social equity system. So whenever you are doing business in the society and you are maintaining the ethical things in your business, that is called actually the business ethics. So there are business ethics and personal ethics. Both is different. Personal ethics, it depends on person to person. But whenever you are doing business, you have to maintain the business ethics. Suppose we can give an example now in Qatar, the World Cup 22 is going on. Whenever the World Cup is started, the Qatar government make the announcement that in the stadium there will be no alcohol. All types of alcohol is prohibited. So why? Because this is the ethical system of the society. Culture, in the Arabic culture or social or Muslim culture, alcohol is prohibited. That's why all types of alcohol is forbidden. It's prohibited by the Qatar government. So this is called the ethical issue. What should we do and what shouldn't we do? What is right? What is wrong? So businessmen, whenever they like to do business, they must consider these issues. What should we do? What shouldn't we do? Basically, this is the responsibility of the businessman comes from ethics. So then whenever about we like to think business responsibility, I already said how the business responsibility driven. The business responsibility usually comes from the ethics, business ethics. If there is business ethics, then the business organization must have some responsibility. So a responsible business can build greater trust and strength its relationship to its stakeholders on every level. So why the businessmen are doing business? The main objectives of the business is to earn profit. But nowadays, we are not thinking or not saying whenever we define business, the main objective of business is just only earning money. We also said another important objective of businessman or business is to make responsibility to the society. So we are doing business in the society, but if we are not responsible to the different stakeholders, like if I am making the product that is actually not out of mark, that is indirect, that is that has flaws, then the customer will be react. Suppose we are doing some business that is illegal by the country's law, then it's not the responsibility of the businessman to sell the product that has defectives, to sell the product there is no customer services, to sell the product that is a regulation of the government. So business responsibility means whenever the businessman will do the business, they will not think only for profit. They also think about the society, about the social people, about different stakeholders. That is nowadays, if you go to the top 500 companies business policy, or if you like to go top 100 companies business policy, you will find that the companies are very interested to engage with their stakeholders, with their business policy, because stakeholders are the ultimate beneficiaries of the business. So if the stakeholders are happy, stakeholders are satisfied, then the business growth um, will be happen very rapidly. That's why business organizations are very much interested to engage their different stakeholders with their policy, with their strategy, with their current operation. That's why the stakeholders will be happy, and they will encourage to buy their product. They will be encouraged to publicity of the product or the company. That's why nowadays, not only world top company, even though if you like to go in Indonesia, then you find that most of the tough companies are very much interested about the social peoples, about the environment. Now we are living in the environment that is called climate change. That is very risky. Even though Indonesia is also a very risky country because of the climate change. So what is the responsible businessman? The businessman's responsibility is to reduce emission, is to protect environment. That's why whenever we are thinking or talking about the business responsibility, we are thinking that business organization will just not earn profit. They will also do many things that will help society, that will help social peoples, that will help environment, that will help to reduce inequality, that will help to reduce gender uh, gap, that will make the society transparent, that will reduce to corruption. So that's was the responsible businessman. And if we like to go about the responsibility, then we found that there are many types of responsible business organizations, like about the ecology, ethics, partnership, growth, goals, charity, impact, all the responsibilities involved with these factors. And then now I will give you some idea what is CSR, because business responsibility has relationship with corporate social responsibility, because business responsibility or corporate social responsibility usually it's come from ethics. So whenever you are following the rules of ethics, then you must think about the responsibility. And whenever you have the responsibility, then you think how much your organization is a responsible organization. Then this concept is come from usually from business responsibility and business ethics. Then what is CSR? The meaning of CSR is corporate social responsibility. I already said the main objectives of the business is just not to earn profit. But profit is the main thing. If we have no profit, you can expense money for CSR, you can expense money for social benefits. But as well as you're earning profit, you also do something. So suppose you are earning profit, but you are producing huge amount of CO2 carbon emission. That is very bad for the local environment or global environment. Suppose you are producing goods, but your raw materials has chemicals. It's entered to the water, and it makes the problem of the deforestation for a farmer. So whenever a responsible businessman doing business, he must think about this. Suppose one businessman, maybe he is using child labor, or he is using minor people in the business. So that is also a responsibility of the businessman not to use these types of discrimination. Suppose some business organization, maybe they have two salary structure. One is for female, another one is for male. So this is one types of discrimination. A responsible business organization will follow the equal opportunities, equal benefits. They will not like to follow the discrimination. So that is the actually called the CSR. CSR means organization will make the policy or strategy for doing business, just not only for earning profit, but also to serve the society, to serve the different stakeholders like creditor, investor, government, NGO, employees, workers, laborers. So there are many stakeholders we have. So whenever you are doing business, if your stakeholders are happy, your financial growth will be increase, your market growth will be increased, your visibility will increase. So that's why nowadays world top companies all over the world are following the strategy of CSR, that is incorporating their business model, and that is really helping to encourage profit as well as solving many social problems. Then this is actually, whenever we are thinking CSR, we are using usually 4 parameters, like is economic responsibilities, legal responsibilities, ethical responsibilities, and discretionary. This is a parameter of CSR. CSR, how CSR works. CSR like contribute economic problem or economic benefits like this, environmental, legal, and social. I think as a business student, you must know about the TBL concept. TBL, triple bottom line. Whenever you are doing business, and if you think you are a responsible businessman, you must think about the TBL approach. TBL approach also, we say, like to say, this is a CSR concept, or this is sustainability concept. It's almost the same thing. TBL approach or CSR is the same thing, but TBL is usually used in many organizations. They like to draw their TBL approaches. So TBL approaches usually economic responsibility, social responsibility, and environmental responsibility. The most prominent and recognized CSR or sustainability concept. TBL is also considered as triple P: profit, planet, and people. So whenever organization doing business in the society, they have to think about the economic benefit. So if you have no economic benefit, you can't go forward. So you must think about the economic benefit. What about your profit? What about your financial policy? What about your governance policy? So you must need economic feasibility, economic growth, economic strength. Then you can think some other issue. And second one is social responsibility. As I said earlier, whenever organization doing business, they must think about the social factors, social issues. Then environmental responsibility. So whenever you are doing business in the society, you must also think about the environment, because if the environment is going on or destroying, then you can't business in here. Your future generation will be in trouble. So we said about the sustainability. Sustainability, what does it mean? The sustainability means simply you will make the world for the betterment of your future generation. So it means your future generation will find a solid, a good, responsible world. And you have to do this for your future generation. This is actually the sustainability concept. So any business nowadays, any types of country, doesn't matter. If the businessman like to make business, they must think about the CSR. They must think about the TBL or triple bottom line approach. If the organization only think I will do profit, I will maximize my profit, they can't do it for long run. Short run, maybe they can earn profit, but in the long run, they will be in trouble. They can't do the maximum benefit, because nowadays the stakeholders are very strong. You can't do anything whatever you like, because there is social media, there is media like electronics media, print media, there are many other things. So whenever you are doing something negative, definitely the stakeholders will go against you, and the organization will lose their market share, lose their profit, and they will be in trouble from the stakeholders, trouble from the customers, even trouble from the government. That's why organization must follow sustainable business model that will give them benefit, that will also solve the social problems. So another issue is how CSR add value. If your organization has a CSR policy or CSR strategy, how can it will create value? It will create value in different way, because the first one is, if your organization have CSR policy, then different stakeholders will be happy. So definitely it will help to run your business growth. Second, it creates pressure to the policymakers. Secondly, if I said earlier, if the organization or businessman is doing something negative, doing something that is out of the business model, then it will make problem, and then the stakeholders group will make movement against the company, and the company will bound to change their policy strategy. And a strong weapon to minimize bad reputation. So that is also, suppose we know some company, if you like to go for Amazon, in 2012, Amazon was in trouble because of labor payment. Their per hour salary was very minimum. But whenever the Amazon employees make against this decision, then Amazon CEO has changed the policy, and they shared their profit with the employees. And at the time, the Amazon business responsibility or business profit has increased much better. If you like to go the policy of Apple in 2010, then the company has made a decision, so CSR policy, that in 2020 they will reduce 25% CO2 emission from their all production. That's why in 2013 the company has installed a new technology. All the Apple's refrigerator, some other issues that will reduce the CO2 emission. So like this way, when the stakeholders are strong and they will go movement, the company is bound to change their policy. And then media visibility. So if a company is really doing something for the betterment of the society, then media will highlight it, and the company will increase their visibility. Social welfare and reducing inequality, all this is happening when there is a CSR strategy of the company, when there is an integrated sustainability approach, or where there is a TBL approach of the company they like to follow. It will reduce inequality. It will increase gender diversity in the organization. That will help the organization to earn more profit as well as to be a responsible company. So this is actually the sustainable value, how the company's sustainable value is created. We like to know about this parameter. And then CSR and governance. We know how the CSR will be given. It depends on the governance of the company. If the company has a strong governance, if the company has good board of directors, if the company has commitment to the stakeholders, if the company has a strategy and there is a pressure from the stakeholders group, then the company will like to implement CSR in their business perspective. So there is another issue, whether the CSR would be mandatory or voluntary. In this period, we know about many things, like many countries, like they like to impose CSR as mandatory. It means that the organization must share CSR in their decision making. So suppose if we like to discuss about the issue that we have found 3 countries, the central government make CSR as the mandatory. Is India made CSR mandatory, Indonesia, and Mauritius. These 3 companies, in these 3 countries, the government made CSR as mandatory. And India, it was in 2004, the Indian government has made the law. Every company whose turnover is like more than 500 crore money, they must be spend 2% of their profit to CSR. So this is mandatory CSR regulation. Even though in Indonesia government also made some rules that is mandatorily the company have to make policy on CSR. And Mauritius and some other company, there is not mandatory, it's voluntary. Whether the company will provide CSR, it depends on them. So there is actually 2 debating issue in developing country and developed country. Developed country believe it not need to mandatory, because this is the responsibility of the company. So if there is a mandatory, it decrease the company value. But in developing countries, people believe if there is no government intervention, then it is difficult to make CSR for every company. So it's really debatable issue, but the reality is that if there is CSR strategy of the CSR policy, then it will increase company benefit as well as it increase to reduce social problems or social inequality. So now we like to think about the governance, Sharia governance. What is Sharia governance? What is Sharia? So that is necessary to know what is Sharia. Sharia, we know. Sharia is a legal practice derived from the techniques of the Quran and the techniques of the Prophet Muhammad Sunnah. So specifically, if we like to define Sharia, then we have to say Sharia means the guidelines of the Quran, the guidelines of the Prophet Muhammad Sunnah. So what is given in the Quran to run a man's lives, a social life, a business lives, personal life, that is actually Sharia. But now the question is how the Sharia will implement in our business life. That's why nowadays we are debating this issue about the Sharia law, like means Sharia principles for business organizations. So basically Sharia means the legal practice of Quran and Sunnah. So Sharia compliant. What is Sharia compliant? That is also the issue is that Sharia compliant means you will do your business, you will fund your money to those investors or those investment. There is a specific regulation for Quran and Sunnah. So the exclusion of investment which derived a majority of their income from the sale of alcohol, pork products, pornography, gambling, military equipment, or weapons, some others illegal issues, that is actually Sharia compliant. Sharia said you can't invest, you can't do these types of business like interest. Interest is completely prohibited in Islam in Quran. So if organization is paying interest, it means that you are violating Sharia principles. Suppose if your company is producing alcohol, and if the company is investing in the alcohol production or financing, that is also prohibited in Sharia, like pork product, pork related product. So Sharia compliant means the organization must invest, the organization must produce the goods and services that has a clear direction in the Quran and Sunnah. If you violate this, it means you are violating the Sharia, you are violating the rules of Quran or the rules of Prophet Muhammad. The Sharia compliance. Now we like to know about the Sharia governance. So what is Sharia governance? Because now I don't know about in Indonesia, in Bangladesh, there are two types of governance we are saying. Suppose one company, they are doing business in conventional business, conventional banking, as well as they're also doing the business in Islamic banking. So the same chairman, same CEO, or same managing director, but they are using two products. One is conventional banking, conventional financing, another one is Sharia-based financing. Then what is the governance? What types of governance they are using? That is really like to know. So now we like to know about the Sharia governance. Usually Sharia governance means how your organization will run by the rules of Sharia, by the methodology of Sharia, by the principle of Sharia. That is usually we like to know about the Sharia governance. So if you like to maintain a Sharia governance, at first you need to make a board, Sharia Supervisory Board, SSB, we like to say, Sharia Supervisory Board. It means it's like the corporate governance of other company, like the director, managing director, and all the directors. So according to the Sharia principle, you must to maintain a Sharia supervisory board to follow the Sharia principle. Then you need about some other things. Now in here, if you like the diagram, then board risk management committee. That is usually every board has risk management committee. But if you like to make a Sharia governance, a Sharia company based transaction, then you must draw Sharia risk management committee, because the committee will determine what types of business you can do, what types of risks you are associated, whether your business is involved any types of operation that is non-Sharia based. This will evaluated by the Sharia risks committee. Suppose if you liked about the Sharia committee, so definitely this is the important thing. Sharia committee or Sharia supervised committee advisory board is required for conducting a Sharia governance, Sharia based business. And then we know about the audit committee. The most important things of the committee, they will evaluate everything of the organization, any financial errors, financial mistakes, financial frauds, transaction, everything is evaluated or scrutinized by the Sharia board. So whenever board audit committee, if the company has a Sharia audit committee, then that we can say this is a Sharia based company because they have a Sharia audit committee. Then also we know also the company need about the Sharia review functions committee. They will review for new things, new product, new services, new financial inclusion, and then Sharia research function. That so whenever the organization has like this types of unit, these types of governance, then we like to say this is a Sharia based company because they have Sharia committee, they have Sharia audit committee, they have Sharia risks committee, they have Sharia review committee, research committee, and their product they're selling or the service they are giving to the stakeholders, to customers, that is also based on Sharia rules. Then we like to say this is a Sharia based company. And then Sharia supervisory board, that is the first thing for doing a company business in according to the Islamic way. The company must need to organize a Sharia supervisory board, SSB. The Sharia supervisory board is one of the most important governance mechanism employed by must be both Sharia scholar and financial expert. So that is the question: who will be the be in the Sharia board? Definitely, they must be the Islamic scholar who have sufficient knowledge about Quran, Hadith, and we like to say fiqh. So they will be the member of the Sharia board, as well as they must also know the financial expertise. So if you know the Quran and Sunnah, but if the person has not much knowledge about the financial product, financial services, then it will be trouble. So that's why SSG must be both Sharia scholar and financial expert, legitimate control body for ensuring compliance with the Sharia. So they also need the controlling compliance, regulation, the rules of Islam, the Hadith, the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad. They have to know Ismakia. So all of these, the five parameters of Islam and the four way of discussion in Islam, they must know. It has both supervisory and consultative responsibilities. So the board must have the responsibility of supervisory and the consultative. And then what the functions are doing by the SSB? SSB is mainly doing three functions: to undertake independent audit. So they will run or make a department that is called audit department, Sharia audit, and the audit department will justify everything, whether the company or the business is following the guidelines of Islam or not. To monitor firms operation, the board will also operate the operations of the organization, what types of product they are dealing, whether the product is anything related with non-Sharia. They will evaluate it to attest that they are free from any action that are prohibited by the Sharia, and also they will ensure the company is doing everything by the rules of Sharia. So they will give the certified. They will supervise these types of things. And then the role of SSB usually function three things they are doing, most apparently, to decide whether to introduce a new financial instrument based on the compliance of Sharia requirements. So it means they will recognize new product, new services to the company, to issue opinion in final form when the board of directors does not have a second opinion on the issue. So they will give the direction to the board of directors what will be happening for particular issues. SSB have the power to disprove all transactions and dealings with contradict Sharia principles. So doing business or operating the organizations, if there any matter is coming, any dispute is coming, then the Sharia board, SSB, will overcome it. They will give consultation. They will describe it. They will solve it. So these are the role of the SSB. So in the Sharia governance, SSB is the key player to make the decisions. And then we know about the dual nature of management. So it means that if suppose organization, a bank, they're doing two types of banking. One is they're doing conventional banking, interest-based banking, as well as they're doing Islamic banking. So this is called dual business shift. This is really a threat in this stage because you have one chairman, you have one CEO, but you are doing two business under one leadership. So this is called dual leadership. SSB provides governance to the board of directors, those modifying the governance structure of Islamic banks from single level governance structure as in conventional banks to multi-level governance. So how can you have one chairman, you have one CEO, how can you run the business? You run the business because if you like to maintain the Islamic business, then you have to establish a new unit that is called Sharia board. So it means the Islamic operation will be run by the Sharia board principles, Sharia board direction, monitoring by them. And this is actually called the dual. So if you like to maintain the dual business, then you have to establish a Sharia-based committee. And then Sharia audit. That is important things after the Sharia board, because the audit, we know audit means to evaluate, or to verify, to browse everything, every transactions, every asset, every liabilities, whether this is according to the Islamic rules or not. So the entire process of unbiased critical evaluation and examination of all the policies and operation of an organization in accordance with the Islamic laws for business. So this is the responsibility of the Sharia auditor. Either the transactions, the events, the asset liability, anything that has happened in the business, whether they follow the Islamic laws or not. There are four major steps in the Sharia audit process, which include planning, execution, reporting, and follow-up. So Sharia audit is very critical, very important, and significant for the organization. And then Sharia guidelines. So now the question is that how the company or businessman will follow the Sharia rules. What are the guidelines? Okay, now we'll give the answer. There are three organizations in the world who are providing Sharia guidelines. How run we Islamic business? How run we Islamic finance? So there are three organizations. The one organization, the accounting and auditing organizations for Islamic financial institutions, AAOIFI. The organization is actually basically based from Bahrain. And the second one is the Islamic Financial Service Board. And third one is Bank Negara Malaysia. These three organizations usually provide the guidelines for Sharia rules, for guidelines and principles of the Sharia. So usually these three organizations providing different guidelines. How can you conduct your business by the Islamic rules, Islamic Sharia. So based on these three, if you can find, then you find there the regulation, how the three organization usually follow. Suppose if we like to the SSB independence, suppose Sharia supervisory board independence, then what about the three organization have said how they will construct, how they will formate about the Sharia board. If you like to go there, you find that SSB is required to continuously assess Islamic banks to resolve any issue of independence impairment. No individuals or group of individuals shall be allowed to dominate the Sharia board's decision making. So I think you can assess the competence. So who will be the Sharia board person? That is given all that. Suppose AOIFA, they said that the person must be Islamic scholar and must have Islamic commercial jurisprudence. So it's a fiqh al mutama. If you need the degree, if you like to be a Sharia board member, you like to need this degree. So another way is that they also said about some other things like SSB responsibility, frequency of SSB meeting, how many times the audit committee, how many times the supervisory committee will make meeting in a year, Sharia review and Sharia audit committee. So they have the specific guidelines. How can a Sharia based company will operate their business? They have given this. Other than this, Sharia compliance risks, we already said in the first slide of the Sharia, there is a risks committee. This is a committee actually. So the committee name is Sharia compliance risks. Sharia compliance risks is the possibility that a financial service or product is not or will not be in compliance with established Sharia principle and standard. So they will overview it. Whether the product, the regulation, the rules, the procedure of the organization is according to the Islamic Sharia or not, or what types of risks they will face whenever these types of rules will be happen in the operation. It will evaluate the compliance risks about the Islamic principles. And then this is very interesting, if you think or if you look at the CSR or compliance and Sharia compliance, there are many studies in the world that already think what about the Sharia principles. Interestingly, most of the results said that Islamic Sharia principles and the concept of triple bottom line, Islamic concept and the concept of business responsibility, the Islamic Sharia principle and the principle of UNGC 10 principle, the Islamic principles and the principle of CS are almost same things, because Islam is so sophisticated religion. It has considered everything. It is considering human rights. It is considering environment. It is considering mankind. It is considering profit. So Islam make business halal. That's why the Islamic governance, Islamic rules, Islamic principle is so diversified that most of the research said Islamic Sharia and CSR concept is same thing, because Islam said about the benefit of the society. You don't burn your environment, you don't violate, or you don't discriminate with employees, workers. Islam said these types of issue, and also non-Islamic businessmen, they're also saying this issue. That's why most of the business or most of the research said that the regulation of Islamic Sharia and the regulation or thinking like CSR, like United Nations governance, compliant, ethical and responsible business. And nowadays we're using the concept of ESG, environmental, governance, and environment, social and governance indicators or performance, almost same things. This is really very interesting issues nowadays whenever we talk about the Sharia compliance and sustainability, then we find that almost the idea is same. So that's why we like to say the rules of Islam, the rules of Sharia is actually, this is beneficial for the human beings, beneficial for the society, beneficial for the environment. But the problem is that we people are violating the rules. We people are not following the rules. That's why we have to rethink about this issue. Um, then, okay, actually, there is a now controversy in Sharia performance. Yeah, there is. In my country, I don't know about Indonesia. In my country, we're asking the same question. Many banks, many financial organizations, they are doing Islamic organization, but at the end of the day, we find the service or the benefit or everything is almost same as like conventional bank. So now this is a really question. So why the banking companies or the companies are saying that they're doing business by the name of Islam, Sharia, or Islamic organization, but we are thinking that their natural business is almost same. So that is a controversy all over the world. I don't know about Indonesia, but in my country, we're asking that question sometimes because they're taking loan, they're giving interest, some means of like Islamic word, but the procedure of the business is almost like the conventional banking, a conventional financing, a conventional business strategy. That's why it is really a controversy. Whether the Islamic organizations or Islamic banks, Islamic financial organizations, really they are following the Islamic principles, really they are based on Sharia or not. It is a matter of discussion. It is a matter of debate. You people who are now starting these types of subject, these types of issue, I hope or we hope that futurely we will make research. Really, our Islamic organizations, really they are violating or no, or they are following the Islamic rules and regulations strictly. So this is a questions now. Maybe you can also ask yourself, really the Islamic organizations, Islamic banks, Islamic financial organization, really they're following the Islamic principles, or just it's eye washing, or it's window dressing, or it's greenwashing? It's a questions, and we will investigate futurely, inshallah. Okay, I think it's almost finished our lecture. Again, I am very much thankful to you and also sorry at the beginning because of the technical issues. So now I like to go, Brother Asgard.
Thank you very much, Prof. Masood. The topic is so benefit for us, and I hope another participant already have benefit like me. Thank you very much. And I ask it to the participants if there are any question, you can write here in chat or you can say directly in the meeting. About Sharia Islamic really is interested topic because we are Islamic and we need to know about this pointers. Prof. Masood already say all pointers that we need to know, and I don't know what I can add it again to this topic because already Prof. Masood say all things. So we're waiting participant to asking if there are any question. You can hand raise or you write your okay. Laksa Adilia, you can. This is your time.
All right, I want to ask about. So I was heard that Indonesian will be on a recession of economics. So I want to ask about how we, as a teenager, to solve that problem, so we can survive from the recession of economics. All right, that's my question.
Thank you very much, Laksa. Okay. Prof. Masood, this is your time.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, thank you for the question. Actually, if I got the questions answer exactly, it means that in Indonesia, this is the most dominating Muslim country in the world, the highest Muslim people in the world. So in many years, many eyes business Indonesia also following the Islamic principles, but maybe it's not the completely. So if we like to compare about the Islamic and non-Islamic benefits and economics, then I think very easily we can identify this issue, because the world economic system is not Islamic. The world economic system is non-Islamic. That's why whenever we are making transaction with non-Islamic countries, then we are facing the problem. So it's really the good issue we have to think, because there are many countries in the world like OIC. We have organization OIC, like OIC. We can make some transaction or basis like World Bank like this. Though we have a Islamic bank, but I think to overcome this issue, like going for our economy into Islamic principles, it totally depends on the country's political policy, mostly political policy of the country. Even though if we know that many non-Muslim countries, banking companies are also start Islamic banking. So that's why, what the reason? Because they have found there are huge potentiality of this business in future. There are many customers, they like to interested to join these types of transactions. So I think if this is happening, that is very good for us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Prof. Masood. Okay, another participant, if there are any question, please you can ask directly, or you can write your question in the chatting room. So writing you can hand raise. If there any question? Okay, thank you very much. Until we waiting there, any there, whoever has question. Okay. I think this topic is so interesting for us, especially we are as Muslim and we need to know about this pointings, and also the new topic is the governance, Sharia governance is so interested also, because this is not completed until now in the global business. How about the Sharia governance also, because this is deep topic, and Masood, alhamdulillah, he gave us many information. So until they prepare the questions, maybe I can replace some point that Prof. Masood already said. For example, about the governance standards of accounting and auditing organization for Islamic institution. For example, there are, I think, 7 points he mentioned in the PowerPoint. For example, Sharia Supervisor Board, appointment, composition, and report. Also, the second is Sharia review. So this is standard for governance, Sharia or Sharia governance. The third is internal Sharia review. Also, the fourth is audit and governance committee for Islamic financial institution. The fifth is independence of Sharia supervisor boards. So every Islamic institution or Islamic financial institution also should have independence of Sharia supervisor boards. And the sixth point he said about the statement of governance principles for Islamic financial institution. And the seventh point is about corporate social responsibility conduct and disclosure for Islamic financial institution. So this is 7 points that make like standards for governance, and this already applied like what Prof. Masud say, applied in many countries like Bahrain, like Malaysia, and other countries. So thank you, really thank you. And this important point, I summaries from your talking, Prof. Masud. Thank you for this point. Okay, we waiting for question. If there are any question, you can hand raise. Okay, if there is some pointers, Prof. Masud can add it. It's okay.
Nice program, I think so. There are many participants. Now I think there are 67 participants, so it's very good participant in online program. That's really great.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, they are interested in sharing to students, and they are really interested because this is so important topic for our university and our major program. So that's why, because we are focusing about Islamic business and Islamic management and economics, and this is a major. That's why this is an important topic for a student. When they
Yes.
listen about this topic, they directly comment on. Okay, if there are any question. Okay.
So in your program, all the students are Indonesian or international students also
There
there?
are international, some of international students, not only Indonesian students, because we have a regular, that's just Indonesian student, but we have already international programs that mix of international and regular student.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. There are anyone need added something, some pointers or asking anything, you can add and write your question. Okay.
Or if anybody don't like to ask questions, you can write also. You can write also.
Exactly. Exactly. If there no points from student and participants or from Prof. Masood, if you need added any point before we close in this meeting, I think, okay, time is yours.
Yeah, if there is no questions, then I think, do you have any requirement, or we can just conclude it?
Okay, if you need to add any point or say any point, okay, before we closing this meeting, I think no question.
Okay, then Brother Asghar, thank you very much. Again, I like to thank for inviting me in the program. I also like to thank my brother Jahi. He's not in here for giving me opportunity. It's really very pleasure for me, because actually I have been working on the issue of like governance, specifically on CSR last 10 years. And I also have the experience like working on Sharia governance. So really, this is very interesting issue. You know that the Muslim people are increasing globally.
Exactly.
So Muslim peoples are also their interest is also increasing, because most of the Muslim people dislike about the interest, that is riba. So they are really interested to run their life by the rules of Islam, rules of principles. That's why the growing economy of Islamic economy is increasing, and it will be $1 trillion economy now. So I think this program will help students in futurely to gather the knowledge, to have a degree like this program. Again, thank you. I feel very honored to join the program, to deliver my speech in front of the students and in front of you. And inshallah, I hope that next time we'll meet again. And thank you, everybody. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Thank you very much for your time, to giving this time, quality time for us really, and enjoy time. And important point for us. Really thank you, Prof. Masood. We hope we can meet again in the same topic or another topic. in the future, and see you again. So before it, we can say very thank you again, and we can close this meeting. We say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Assalamualaikum. Thank you,
Waalaikumsalam
Bu
warahmatullahi
Dodi.
wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Aku list ya. Ini satu lagi.